Hey, what's up everybody, it's Ryan here. Going to be playing through Rockin' Cats on Nintendo. Now this game I wasn't familiar with until I started playing it a few days ago. It's pretty interesting how the game mechanics work. So you can see I have this like a punching glove kind of thing. I'm spraying, that's my attack. You can also use the glove to grab onto ledges. And you hit the B button, you spin around. Now, when you spin around, you spin in 8 directions. Depending on when you hit the button is when you're going to get released. Now, you don't really have a lot of control once you're flying around, but you're also completely invulnerable, which is pretty nice. So as if you're latched onto something and you're spinning, you can actually damage enemies, they can't damage you. And as you can see, you use it to get across gaps, and as the levels get more complex, you'll see pretty cool uses for the glove. So here's the first little mini boss. Nothing really too difficult. You just hit the bird until it becomes angry. You hit the bird some more. When I get to some of the other mechanics of the glove, like when I use them, I'll explain what's going on. So just continue to the right. Now here's a little section. Now this game's kind of each level is like is represented by a channel, so you don't have to do all the channels in a row. I chose the first channel to get some money because I'm going to be buying a power up here after this level's over. But you can do the levels. Every level except level 5, which is the final stage of the game, you can do in any order. You have to complete the first 4 in order to unlock the last level. So, nothing to really say here. You just kind of make your way to the right. You can stay on your skateboard, but there's no real point. Once you get to a point where it seems like the train isn't moving. Okay, so right here. If you hit the glove downward, you actually bounce upwards, and then if you hit it like when I'm bouncing off the wall, I'm actually hitting diagonal down and toward the wall. So I'm doing like down left, and then you fly up against the, you kind of bounce off the wall. Again, as the game gets more complex, you'll see me using like those tactics a lot more to get around different obstacles. Now here's the first stage boss. You can tell you've hit a boss when you hit this cutscene. This cutscene is pretty much the same each time. I think. Okay, yeah, I fight like a band. Okay, yeah. So the trick with this particular boss is, as long as he's just throwing those music notes at you, he's not gonna move. He only moves after you hit him. So just do what you can to take out those the enemies up on the top. So it's just like less of a distraction. I mean, I'm not really sure if you have to kill those two, because I don't think they really do anything. But for me, it's just less of a distraction just to get them out of the way. Now here's where you can beat the boss pretty quickly. So the boss always goes in the same kind of pattern. You can see, I mean, I've played this game a lot trying to get those no death runs, so I actually know the pattern pretty well. You just keep on hitting them. Should be over right first. There he is. After each stage, you get your life bar fills back up, and you save your girlfriend. And she says, "I love you," and he gets all weird. But now I think I might actually go to stage 3 or 4. I think. I don't think. Okay, so that's the, so there's X on the channel, which signifies that I've beaten that stage. But I bought these rocket skate things. I don't think I can buy anything else. Yeah, so I buy the rocket skates because I use them in this stage. This stage, there's one part of the level that's really annoying, and the rocket skates, you'll see me use them. And when I get to that point, I'll explain what's going on. So again, you just make your way to the right. Do what you can to kind of latch yourself onto onto like different parts of the stage just so you are invulnerable for most of it. I'm not really, in this particular level, I'm not really too hung up on taking damage because you get a heart right there, which is completely fills up your meter before you get to the second part of the stage. So, you know, this is all pretty self-explanatory. You make your way to the right. Here's where things are going to start getting a little interesting. So you dodge the arrow, then do a down right attack, and you'll bounce back to the left. Something that is kind of frustrating with the game is in order to like jump to the right, to bounce off something, you have to hit down left. And in some of the stages, you're kind of stuck with like, spikes and stuff, and you're kind of, I don't know, it's just hard to kind of manage like hitting. Like to go right, you have to hit left. It's kind of a weird feeling. As you can see, you just have once those two guys disappear, you've won. So just make your way to the right. Now, there's usually like an Indiana Jones style ball that rolls towards you right there. I don't know why. I don't know if the Nintendos play different, but like for those that don't know, like I have 3 top loaders. I have one that's in my house, I have another one that's like my backup, and then I have this one I'm using right now. And the one I'm using now is actually a Japanese console with a pin converter attached to the game, so I can play it. And the reason why I do that is because the Japanese top loader actually has a full stereo output. It's not an RF cable. You know, it has like the AV cables instead of the RF cable. So the picture's clear, and the sound is okay. So here I'm using the rocket shoes. That part right there, you're supposed to use the glove to bounce yourself toward the dog or the Indian dog thing. But excuse me. But I got to this part in the game about 3 times trying to record this no death run, and I kept on dying on that one part. So I kind of decided to try to attack this part of the game, you know, relatively early, which is why I chose the second, just so I can get it out of the way. I forgot what I was talking about. I guess I was talking about something, but not. So just make your way to the left. Here's another part that was different. Oh, okay, so I was talking about my different Nintendos. So in this stage, normally, I fight, instead of the Indian, you know, dogs with the arrows, they're usually like these like purple elephant things. I don't know why the game changed the enemies on me. And it happens again later, too, where there's supposed to be bats hanging like from the wall, but these little blue dots are enemies instead. I'm not sure if consoles read, each specific console reads the game differently or what, but I found that very strange. I mean, there are points where parts of the game were completely different, and it seemed to be all dependent on what console I was playing, because each console within itself was pretty consistent with what enemies were where and stuff like that. So, you know, I don't know what that's about. If anyone knows anything about the different consoles playing games differently, like, let me know, because when I started playing on this Japanese console, it confused me. I was seeing different enemies that I was used to seeing. So, sorry, I kind of skipped over that boss fight. You can see it was pretty easy. You just make sure you dodge the bird, hit him 20-something times, and he's dead. So now I go back. Oh, I don't have enough. So I get that first. So that is like a spike ball. It does more. I don't think it does more damage to bosses, but like the normal, like the random enemies, it'll take, instead of multiple hits, it'll generally just take 1 hit, and it can actually hit bullets off the screen. But you can't grapple with it like you can with the normal glove. So if I have the spike glove, I can't grapple and like swing around. It doesn't grab onto anything. So I guess I'm assuming that's like the trade-off of power versus, you know, utility, being able to move around the stage. And again, I'm not really concerned about taking damage right now because there's a heart right there, which is near the end of the stage, so you can just kind of... as long as you can get to that heart, it doesn't matter how much damage you take. Here's the second portion, which kind of reminds me of like Sonic 2, Sonic and Tails, when Tails is flying the plane. But, see, so now you can see I've switched because I know that in this particular part of the game, there's no pipes or anything I have to grapple onto. So I'd rather be able to just knock everything out in one hit. So you make your way through, and mini boss is going to be coming up here in a second. So, okay, and this part's auto-scrolling. You don't really control how fast or slow the plane goes. And you can't control your position on the wing. You're always where I'm standing until this boss fight starts. Now I can start moving around. So you can... Oh, and another thing too is the colors were a little bit different on my different Nintendo consoles. Like on my console, my practice console that I use, it uses the RF cable. Those little balls that were exploding were actually red, and I think they looked brown in this video, which I thought was kind of strange. So far, this is the only game that's ever had any kind of weird inconsistencies between the two consoles. And even with this stage in particular, there was those little guys with the helicopters on their heads, or whatever those things are. When I was playing through it during one of my tries, they were actually just, they were eagles. They weren't what they are in this different part, so I don't know what makes it inconsistent or what. So this is another little mini boss battle. Again, so you can see I have to switch back in order to grapple onto the girder, or whatever that thing is, the ledge. And again, when you're swinging, you're completely invulnerable. So if you can get some enemies in the way as you're swinging, that's all the better. This boss is pretty straightforward as well. I'm going to switch over to the spike ball. I don't think it even does anything really against the bosses, but I don't know. I switch anyway. And you'll see what the other. I think after this part, I'm going to get the other item that I'm missing, and I'll explain what the item was that I didn't pick up. So just make your way through. Each of the hands do different things, but the order of the hand attacks are always the same. So you're always going to get the little pew-pew shot, then it's going to bounce, and it's like this weird perfume thing. Then it's going to come back to the hand bouncing around, like that. And then if you're consistently hitting them like I am, you can see the boss fairly quickly. And then you save your girlfriend. I have no previous experience with Rockin' Cats. I don't know if it's a cartoon. It seems like it's a cartoon, and if not, it should have been because the characters are pretty neat. Here's where the game gets kind of strange. So you can tell some of those clown-headed dogs attack you. You can tell by their eyes. If their eyes are kind of like slanted or like looking at you. That's your cue that they're going to attack you. So, little heads up. There's extra life there. There's the heart if you need it, which unfortunately right now I don't. Just make your way. Again, use your diagonal and down attack to bounce. Get around the stage. I'm not sure what the deal is with this. I mean, it's a fun park, but you end up in a cemetery for some reason. I don't really understand that transition. Whatever. The game's still good. So you can see here I've switched over to the spike ball again. It kills everything in one hit, all the normal enemies. And And since I know that I'm only going to be spending, I think, 300 or 400 more like money, and I'm not really too active in trying to collect all the money bags and stuff. But I know I'm not going to really need any money to beat the game. I guess theoretically you can play for a high score and maybe not buy anything and stuff like that. But my goal is just to beat this game without dying, which I was pretty happy I successfully did. See, I'm actually in a pretty tough spot right now because each time he touches you, you lose a full heart. So I'm actually on my last touch. Like I need to beat him now. So I beat him, so I get all my life back, which is very fortunate. Here's another part that I died on a few times, and it actually seems inconsistent with my other Nintendo. I've had some different enemies attack me here. Usually, I'm able to make a jump straight up from here, like to jump onto that platform. But for some reason, like I couldn't get it to work on this console. I don't know if that's just me or what. It was very strange. There you go. Just make your way around. See, when I'm trying to move forward, I'm always hitting the button either when he's completely horizontal or up, up and diagonal. It gives you enough lift to move you across the gap. Now here's where you start using the, what they call it, the glove with the spring. You start using it a little more liberally to help yourself get throughout or move throughout the stage. Like that, and I hit down left there to bounce up against the wall. Down right and up against the wall. I don't think I go for that extra life. I don't need it. But there's an extra life there for anyone who wants it. This part isn't very difficult. You just gotta kind of pay attention. Really short. So I mean, I think even if you get hit by everything possible, you still don't die, and you actually make it to the boss fight, I think. Okay, so yeah, this is the part of the stage that was, for some reason, like, was completely different. So there's usually these bats that are hanging upside down where those blue balls are. I'm not sure what happened within the game to where it gave me that enemy. I simply don't know. I don't know what I did different with the game. I mean, I don't think my game's messed up. I played through it a bunch. It seems like this console I'm using for some reason was giving me like different enemies for different areas, so that was very strange. Okay, so Clown Dog. Now the goal for this is to actually get rid of the dog in the middle first. You just keep on hitting him. If you use the spike ball, you can see it's actually knocking away the things he's shooting. So do your best to knock him out as fast as possible. There he is. So you can tell he's dead because there's the noise that happens, and then he becomes gray. So here's that, and then just kind of the boss fights aren't really that difficult in the game. They can get kind of annoying if you don't really know what to look for. Like the first time through, you can definitely die if you're not paying attention. Just make your way through and classic NES stuff. Just find the pattern of the boss, and eventually you'll beat him. Now I think I'm actually going to be unlocking the last stage of the game. Yeah, okay, so stage 5 is now selectable. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing on the top right. You'll see it when I use my glove. 2 little balls will fly out of it, and I will. It extends your attack range horizontally, which is very helpful when fighting the final boss. You'll see that at the end. nothing really tricky. You just kind of make your way to the right. Be careful. See here, you know, my attack is, or my spinning is actually completely keeping me invulnerable to different enemies and stuff. So here you go. So now here, as you can notice by now, level 5 is kind of like a mini boss rush. You play a very small stage and you fight the bosses you've already fought before. I guess kind of like Mega Man maybe, but not nearly as difficult. So there you go, boom. Take care of the drummer. Again, he has the same pattern that he did first time we fought him, so you can see that this fight's gonna go pretty quick. There it goes. So he's dead. The next section starts with I'm back in the park. Here's a shortcut. I think I go back for it. Yeah, so you go into the sewer, and again, I'm going to use the rocket skates only because it makes your jump so much more, so much loftier, and it makes the jump safer. Because usually, what you're supposed to do, I think, is you're just supposed to use the glove to kind of push yourself against it to fly across that little gap. But if you have the rocket suit, you just jump and hold the button, and you'll float across the gap. Now here, this part was pretty difficult. So you can see here, you spin. In order to stop, in order to stop the uncontrollable part of your fall, you hit the B button, and then you'll actually fall straight down from wherever you hit the B button. So it's kind of hard to explain, but if you saw what I did in that last jump. During the arc that I was flying uncontrollably, I hit the B button and my character actually completely stopped in midair and just went straight down. That's when I'm actually able to hit the button again to grapple onto something else. Now, you can see with I only had to deal with that for one gear or whatever, one pipe, I guess, that I hooked onto. But during another stage, it becomes very difficult and very important that you understand how all that works. I'll get to that when we get, when the video gets there. Actually no, that's the secret stage. So your goal here is just to make it all the way to the top of the building by way of using the grapple thing to. Always try to grab the left part of that, the left part of the window. Because what can happen is if you spin and you hit the side, you actually kind of get out of control. You kind of bounce around. And it's just easier to just make your full circles rather than getting bounced around with no control. So again, here's the same boss as the Western. And the bosses are no difficult. Patterns don't change. So as you can see, just do what you can to kill them. Jump on my spring. And then I'm off to Wacky again. You can see the eyes that are kind of sideways are the ones that I'm hitting. Make your way back down. Again, this is pretty much, see, I did a stage that was very similar to this already, but they didn't have the bats. The bats were supposed to be there the first time, like I mentioned. They weren't for some reason. That dog head thing that follows you around, it just does damage to you, it just hurts you. It's not instant death or anything, it just takes a part away. So you can live with getting hit by it a couple times. Boss left, and then pretty sure it's the final guy. See, like right there, I had to hit my glove down in order to save myself from taking damage. The thing that I did like about this game, I did like when they're infinite continue, so the game is just kind of an active attrition kind of way. I think I mentioned in other videos, Ghosts and Goblins is like that. I think maybe Toxic Crusaders was like that? I don't remember. Fraud, I don't know. I say a lot. So you make your way to the right. Once the candles leave the screen, it becomes darkness. But thankfully, there's candles around that light the way. Kind of like is it Lightman and Mega Man 2? Is it 3? I think it's 3. Mega Man so this is the revisiting of the dog clown thing. You can see I've already knocked out the middle section. If the middle guy isn't knocked out, you actually take damage every time that you come in contact with him, which can add up very quickly, especially when you're trying to dodge this guy spinning around like a crazy person. So make sure you kill the middle guy off first. One more loop, and then he'll be dead. Here's another part where I see how I hit the button to stop myself, and then you hit the button again in order to grab on. It's a little tricky and it's kind of difficult. Alright, so here's the part that's kind of counterintuitive. You can see, like, I have to go to the right, but I have to hit down left in order to do that, and it's just kind of a clunky way of moving around. It just doesn't feel right. But here's the final boss before the main boss. It's Mr. Kong in a suit. Throws bananas at you. Bodyguard or something. This guy takes a lot of hits. I stopped counting, I think, after 30, I think. When I was trying to actually figure out, how many hits per boss you needed and stuff. You need to hit him a lot. Every time he touches you, or every time that a banana touches you, I think. These bananas might just do half. If his body touches you, you lose a full heart. And that could happen. I mean, you can get in a really bad spot where you keep on jumping around and you die very quickly. So, be prepared for that. So, once he leaves the screen, then the fight's over. So, here is the last stage, I believe. The only way to reset is you have to either do a mid-air, like diagonal jump, like diagonal grapple, or land on the alligator then do a straight upward grapple. You can't do it. That one you have to land, do a diagonal one, and then do the same thing where you fly off, hit the button, and grasp on. Here's the final boss, I believe. Yeah, because this is the final cutscene thing. There it is. So this time I will fight. Come on. So I'm switching over to this weapon, which you can see it gives you a way bigger horizontal attack range. So the goal is just to basically hit him. What he usually does is wherever you're standing in relation to the stage, he'll stay even with you. So he's always within range of hitting it. So you can see now I kind of have to start paying attention and be more diligent with my shooting and stuff. But be careful for him when he switches sides. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. You need to pay attention. That eats away an entire heart. And you can see from here, I was one heart away from dying. So there's the boss. He gets sent to the moon. And then I think he just scrolls down to the game ending screen. So yeah, it's going to show, I think, Statue of Liberty. And there she is. And then the cast holding hands. This is the game ending screen. Now, after the game ending screen, you're going to get a credit scroll. After the credit scroll is the dog guy, like, says something to you. Basically, he says, like, you know, let's fight again. Let's have another round or something. And you actually unlock, like, a secret stage, like you unlock like a secret little quest, I guess, or whatever, to fight him one last time. You don't have access to any weapons. All you have is your normal spring hammer, you know, boxing glove thing. And each board that you have to go through doesn't contain any hearts or any health power-ups. So you have to go through all the stages are just way more difficult than the rest of the game was. Now, my next video that I'm going to be posting, it should be posted almost immediately after this video is uploaded, is that secret stage done in one life. Now, when I played through it the first time, I actually died at the boss. You know, with my 2 lives. Oh yeah, and your lives reset, by the way. So, oh wait, actually, I don't think they do. I don't remember. But anyway, so what happened? I died at the boss because I had, like, I think 2 hearts going into the final battle, and I messed up and I died. But the game asked me to continue, and I said, okay, you know, I said yes, continue. And when I continue, my scores, I don't know if it starts over completely or what, but you start off with 2 lives, and I got to the boss again with my 2 lives and I died. And what happens when you die is you start whatever board you're on with full hearts. And I didn't really want to beat the game that way. So when I died that other time, I decided just to kill myself off and start over, so I have my 2 lives and I do everything in 1 health bar. So that's my next video. I'm going to leave the commentary off now, and then I'll be back in a little bit. So thanks for watching. I hope you appreciate it. I worked hard on this one. This game's pretty good. I suggest it to whoever wants to play a good game. Rate, subscribe, whatever. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Uh-oh. Let's fight one more round.